Russia had encouraged war with patriotic enthusiasm. They vowed to never make peace as long as the enemy stood on Russian soil. Russia was united because of the war for a short period of time until they started to lose battles to the Germans. A big problem they had was their weak leadership. Nicholas II had a poor relationship with the people, resulting in relying on the old bureaucratic apparatus leading to the Progressive Bloc. This was a new government responsible to the Duma rather than the Tsar. The Tsar then decided to go lead the Russian army, leaving his wife in danger where she had made many mistakes. Russia had then entered a terminal crisis with the terms of thousands of soldiers deserted and many casualties. The February Revolution resulted in a big uprising of angry people in the capital. Though Russian people no longer wanted to fight, the leaders decided to keep Russia in the war. The Petrograd Soviet workers and soldiers' deputies and the provisional government both shared power, though being rivals. In May 1917, the edict of the Petrograd Soviet was issued, taking authority from officers and giving it to elected committees. In July 1917, the provisional government ordered a summer offensive against the Germans. The campaign failed and peasant soldiers began seizing land. Russia was descending into anarchy in the summer of 1917, which was an opportunity for Vladimir Lenin, a revolutionist who studied Marxist socialism and addressed it to existing conditions in Russia. He had three central concepts. First, only violent revolution could destroy capitalism. Second, in certain conditions, a socialist revolution was possible. Third, the possibility of revolution was determined by human leadership. Later, him and his opponent split into two fractions. Lenin's group was called the Bolsheviks and his opponents were the Mensheviks. The Communist Party grew from 50,000 to 240,000 members with their growing influence. Trotsky convinced Russia to form an army that he would lead, and on November 6th, he took his and the Bolsheviks' army and overthrew the government. The Congress of Soviets claimed all power and named Lenin head of state. The people soon became disappointed with the rapidly failing Bolshevik empire and their newly built communist empire. So, Lenin moved to write a new constitution under a freely elected assembly. But only 23 of the elected delegates represented the Bolsheviks. This motivated the Bolsheviks to make Russia a one-party state and urged opponents of the nation like southern Russia, Siberia, and Ukraine to fight. Thus launched a full-fledged civil war among them in spite of foreign intervention, and Bolsheviks succeeded through the tactic of war communism. Opposition arose against the Bolshevik Empire, as old army officers rejected the peace treaty and created a white opposition against communism. By 1918, civil war was apparent in Russia, as many challenged Lenin. However, the white armies weren't successful for multiple reasons. In 1918, Trotsky became a decisive war commissioner who created a disciplined army which contributed to the Red Army's win. The Reds also controlled vantage points like Moscow, while the Whites had little coordination in battle and no universal political view to stand upon. Besides that, Bolsheviks also used war communism, which allowed them to ration, seize food, and overall keep their armies supplied. The Cheka, the communist secret police, was another factor in their win due to the fear it installed in revolutionaries. Lastly, foreign military intervention to help the whites actually worked against them, since Westerners put in half efforts. This also resulted in Bolsheviks being able to appeal to patriotic nationalism. In 1920, white armies were being easily defeated as Bolsheviks regained territory they previously lost, which marked their victory on the Civil War.